Hi, welcome to the next class. This class will focus completely on elementary school students. So if you haven't watched the video before about what to do before elementary school, please go back. There's an important decision that you need to make. Okay, so in this video, I will share my screen because we're starting to get into some very nitty-gritty details that I want you to see. But at this stage, we're looking at elementary school students and what we can do to help them prepare for life after high school. All right, let's jump right into my screen. Okay, elementary school. I want you to think about extracurricular activities. And what I mean by this is elementary school is a great chance for us to experiment, because by now you're probably noticing that not everything that works for one child works the same for the other. So extracurricular activities are a great way to give your child a chance to try something, to see if they like it, and to see if they're just innately good at it. Because let's admit it, not everybody can be an NCAA basketball player or, a Major League Baseball player. So extracurricular activities. In this, I don't want you to overburden your child and schedule too much stuff, but just give them a little taste here and there. Try some music lessons, art lessons, soccer, basketball, Little League baseball's good. Maybe dance classes. There's tons out there for you to pick from, but each one of these will give them a little taste of this experience, if they like it, if they just hate it and dread it, or if they're just not that good at it. Now, again, you need to make some decisions as a parent with this, right? Maybe you were an awesome softball player or baseball player, and that's really what you want your child to do in college. But think about it. If they're not that good at it, if they don't like it, are you going to force them? And I can tell you from experience that children aren't going to speak up and say no, because they're looking to you as the authority figure. They're looking to you to tell them what to do. So if you're still taking them to baseball practice every single week, every year, from first grade on up, by the time they get to high school, they'll probably be burned out and their body will probably be broken. And I'm speaking from experience. We had 3 of our 6 kids that did baseball and softball. And by the time they got to high school, their bodies were broken and they were burned out. So I want to encourage you to make elementary school and middle school extracurricular activities something that they can enjoy, something that they can experiment with and figure out if they like it, if they're good at it. Is this something they want to keep doing? And by rotating the activities, especially when they're younger like this, it gives the different muscles in their body a chance to heal. So if we do, let's say, baseball from first grade through 12th grade, they're using those same muscles over and over and over and over again. But if we switch it up and you do baseball and soccer and swimming and karate and basketball and, I don't know, wrestling, whatever else is out there, each time you switch, you're giving those muscles a chance to heal. And that's important. It's also important that we just don't overburden the child and stress them out. So my recommendation is 1 sport at a time. And maybe some breaks in between, right? Because we have to remember, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to run up and down the field all the time. Let's say you're doing soccer. Whew, that's a lot of work and stress. And then to go from that to, let's say, basketball, where you're running up and down the basketball court, it's a lot of work. So give them a chance to breathe, to heal, and really, let's just put it in perspective. Elementary and middle school are the chances for them to experiment with these extracurricular activities and see what they're good at and what they like, and if there's something they become passionate with. And it doesn't have to just be extracurricular. You can start to look at volunteering. So with volunteering, this gives you a chance, again, to experiment in a safe way with your child, to let them see if they like it. It could be cleaning up a park. It could be raking leaves for the neighbor. It could be putting together goodie bags for cancer patients or serving a meal to the homeless. First, volunteering is a great thing to do. We should all do it. Serving our community is a great thing to do. And it teaches our children to have a compassionate, empathetic heart, which is a great character builder. But with our volunteerism, you can experiment with this too. So I don't want you to get stuck in a rut and do the same volunteering year after year after year. Try different things so that you're exposing your child to different ways of life, to different opportunities, right? Okay, the college savings plan, let's not forget this. At this stage, this is another decision to make. Are you going to contribute towards their college fund? And if you are, that's fantastic. And if you're not, that's okay too. Don't feel guilty. Either way, it's a decision to make for you and your spouse. Or if you're a single parent, it's a decision to make for yourself. So I wanted to bring that up. Enrichment programs. So with enrichment programs, this is a chance for you to see, does your child need a little extra help? And as they start to take tests and they're going through school, you'll start to see if they are on track with their class. I would just start there. If their teacher comes to you and says, well, they're struggling with reading, there are amazing reading enrichment classes, and I'd love to share that with you. There are great math classes out there that you can do in the evenings, on the weekends, through the summer. So if they're struggling, make sure that they're on par with their class first. But if they're doing okay in their class, maybe look at how they're doing with the national average, right? And so they don't necessarily take those standardized tests until later. I think maybe 4th and 5th grade, they start to take standardized tests, maybe 3rd grade, it depends on the school. But you'll be able to get an idea of where they're placing in the country. And I want you to keep in mind, and this isn't to add extra stress to you as a parent, but typically the United States with math and reading, we're not as good as other countries. So if you have a star student that you think needs to, can step it up a little bit more, there's enrichment programs for that too. But I don't want you to stress out your child. It's okay for them to be where they're at. Okay? It's okay for them to be on par with their class. It's okay. That is fine. Now, there's plenty of other options you can look at, and I'll have a different class available for that. If you want to dig deeper into what enrichment classes there are, looking and comparing your school to the state level, to the national level, to the world level, we can get into that. but I don't want you to stress your child out. Okay. Apply for scholarships. Yes, you can do this even in first grade. I have a huge list of scholarships that kids can take. One of the main ones is the Coles Cares Scholarship. So with this, it partners your volunteer activities with money for college. It's great. You can look that one up online. Again, I have several that I could refer to you. But even elementary school students can do college scholarships. So think about that. Go ahead and do some research yourself. Some of them are essays, stories, poems, photography, videos, you name it. It's out there. But college scholarships, you could go ahead and get a jump start. The ACT Aspire. Some of you, if your children are in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, may have already been invited to take an ACT or SAT test. These are pre-test, practice test, pre-test. It's a gauge for where your child is and how they're doing to prepare for college. Now, not everyone is invited to take this test, but you can go online and look at it and see what the requirements are. That will help you as a parent to know just how your child's doing, period. If you're invited to take this test, many people do consider this quite an honor because it shows that your child's been recognized in the country as someone that's standing out with their grades. So it's pretty important. I want to caution you with this, though, to be careful not to let that get to your kid's head, right? Because at this age, especially elementary school, they're still building that character, and we want them to be humble. Okay? We want them to do great with their grades, with their education, and we want to prepare them as much as we can. But we don't want them to think that they're the smartest person in the school. And on the flip side of that, when other students start to find out just how smart your kid is, they might be teased. They might be made fun of. Right? You see it on both sides. Either the child's not that smart, their grades aren't on par with the school, and they're struggling and they're made fun of, right? And so that's our job as a parent, to give them those enrichment programs, tutors, to help them succeed. But on the other end of the spectrum, if your child does do well and their grades have been recognized at a national level, some of the kids in the school might poke fun at them. And then your child has a decision to make. Do they give up because they don't want to stand out and be made fun of? So do they settle? I've seen that happen. Where very smart, intelligent children with a bright, bright future ahead of them gives up because they don't want to stand out. So just watch for that. And then we see it on the other end too, right? Where children that are struggling, they get really down on themselves. They get depressed. And they have a hard time. And they need help, not just academically. They may need some help mentally. And I'm not talking about drugs per se. I'm just talking about they may need to talk to you. And they may need to know, did you struggle in school? And how did you overcome it? Because usually, if a child's struggling in school, someone else in the family probably did too. And so just having those conversations to let them know they're not alone. It's okay. We can do this together. and help them, right? Okay, so my second page for elementary school. Oh, I only have one. Okay. Okay, so that's enough for elementary school preparation, right? It's a little heavy too. Again, if you haven't watched what to do before school, please go back and watch that video. I'm grateful that you have finished the elementary school video. And if you have questions, please, please reach out to me, reach out to guidance counselors, reach out to your family, your friends. Parenting's not easy, but we can do this, right? And we can set your children up to thrive, to really help them just have a great life with great possibilities for a great future. But at the end of the day, I want you to know, from one parent to the next, parenting's hard. It's the most important job that we do, and it's the hardest job that we do. So don't get down on yourself. Don't feel overwhelmed or burdened. That's why we're chunking this down into bite-sized pieces. We can do this. And you don't have to do it by yourself. Reach out for support. There's lots of parenting groups out there. I encourage you to do productive ones that aren't just meeting to gossip or talk bad about their kids or their spouse, because there's plenty of those out there too. Okay, have a great day, and let's jump into the middle school video.